A knock on the front door surprised me. Firstly, it sounded timid and uncertain. Secondly, it was on Sunday and it was not yet 8:00 in the morning, and thirdly, everyone I was happy with already had a key to the apartment. Strange, but it could be important, and so I opened the door. Stunned doesn't even come close to describing my reaction to the thin, pretty blonde standing on the porch. "Hello James." "Maddie." "Beautiful, brilliant, vivacious Maddie." "My ex-wife Maddie." I hated Maddie. My heartbeat quickened, but I tried to control it. "Maddie, I didn't expect to see you ever again. I know, but we need to talk. We needed to talk a long time ago. How did you find me?" "I followed you from your mother's house. I remember that you usually go there on Monday evenings. It wasn't easy for me to decide to knock on your door." She smiled, but the smile was weak. She seemed unsure, which was completely unlike her, but at the same time definitely determined. "Can I come in?" "What do you want, Maddie?" "Please James, give me 5 minutes and then I'll leave." I sighed dramatically, which had always been the extent of my resistance to Matt's demands. I closed the door and followed her into the living room. She seemed worried, unusually worried, and I was in no mood to help her out. "So what do you want?" Maddie's big blue eyes quickly wandered around the room, but there were very few clues. The apartment was new and the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen and office were priorities, so personal belongings were still in boxes. She looked meaningfully at the sofa, but having received no invitation chose to remain standing. She turned to face me. "Could you offer me some tea, coffee? You're not a guest." "Maddie, say what you want to say." "How are you, James? Is it true?" I chuckled. "Why do you care? I love you, James, and I always loved it, and that's why you always cheated on me with Tom." It was Matt's turn to sigh. "You know why? He was the first guy I ever loved. He was my first lover. We have a very special connection, and you didn't think that you should have shared this information with me before our wedding." I didn't think I still had feelings for him. He joined the army. I haven't seen or heard from him for 14 months, and I fell in love with you, and yet you had sex with him every time he came back to town a few weeks before our wedding, and for 3 whole years while we were married. God, Maddie, you never gave up on him even when you swore allegiance to me. All this was a fact. Detectives found out everything in preparation for the divorce. At least she had the decency to look at the floor. "What do you want, Maddie?" "I want my husband to come back, restore our family." "Ex-husband, and I won't go back. You burned our family." "Maddie, I didn't want a divorce. You abandoned us and then you didn't want to talk to me. I've been trying to talk to you for 2 years. I have nothing to tell you and you have nothing that I would like to hear." "You wanted Tom, use it." "I wanted to be with you. I just wanted him to from time to time. I don't play this game. You didn't choose between us, so I made the choice." At these words Maddie's eyes sparkled with tears. I don't claim to understand her, but the relationship she wanted would have killed me if I had agreed to it. Everything was leading up to this. "Your child needs you, James." Blood rushed to my head. My ears were throbbing and I could barely think. "Beth is not mine. Tom's father." This came up at a custody hearing. "It seems to me that together we could find a solution so you can see Beth. I know you love her so much, but I'm not talking about Beth. We have a son. I named him Jimmy." I didn't think the roar in my head could get any louder, but it did. I don't know how I managed to stay on my feet because I don't remember anything about the next few minutes. My mind just went somewhere else to process this new blow. When he returned I laughed bitterly. "I've seen this show before, Maddie. We're having a baby. Oh James, you're going to be the best dad in the world." "Only it was Tom's child, not mine." "But it's true. I didn't know I was pregnant when you served me with divorce papers, and when I didn't get my period I thought it was because of stress, and when I realized that I was pregnant we had already signed everything, and Tom and I were making plans for the future." "So what part of your plan for the future brought you here?" "I'm here because I love you." "Your attitude towards me demonstrated this." Her tears burst out and rolled down her cheeks. They seemed sincere, but with Maddie you couldn't really be sure. "Jimmy needs his father and Beth misses you terribly." "Me too." Beth was not even 2 years old when we broke up. she was without me longer than with me, and you could have found me any time since I moved. What's really going on, Maddie?" She lowered her eyes again and tears rolled down from her long eyelashes. "Tom left a few months ago. I don't know where he is, but he said he won't come back." "Never?" "Why?" Maddie hesitated. "He couldn't come to terms with the fact that Jimmy was your son." "I couldn't help it," I smiled dully. "Well then, you made a bad choice. Please James, I beg you, I love you, children love you, we're supposed to be a family, we belong to each other. This is serious." "Who is listed as the father on Jimmy's birth certificate?" Maddie sobbed, then quietly squeezed out, "Tom." "Then it looks like you're looking for your husband in the wrong place." "No, please James, I really love you. You are the only husband I want, the only one I ever wanted. I swear to it." Maddie's face was contorted in agony and she was breathing heavily as she cried, her sobs laced with deep regret. I fought with myself not to reach out with comfort. She just looked lost, pathetic. Gone was the dynamo I fell in love with, replaced by this sad and desperate way. I felt my heart begin to break from her pain, but for some reason I didn't have my own pain. The sound of the key in the front door lock saved me. I turned around with relief and a smile of anticipation appeared on my face. Sure enough, as day turns to night, the door swung open to reveal a slender dark-haired vision in yoga pants and a puffy jacket, holding a bag of baked goods and a cardboard tray with 2 paper cups with lids. "You're home," I said, smiling widely. Sally gave me a bright smile, but then she saw Maddie and looked at me puzzled. "Honey, this is Maddie." Realization dawned and Sally's lips pressed firmly together and then curled into a cold smile, a smile that did not touch her expressive dark eyes at all. "Hello Maddie, I've heard a lot about you." "Maddie, this is Sally, my wife." I shouldn't have enjoyed Maddie's suffering. Her eyes widened then turned into slits. She could only nod, sobs shaking her body. She rushed past us, leaving the door open. I carefully closed the door behind her. "Are you okay, honey?" Sally looked deeply into my eyes and lightly touched my cheek with her hand. "To be honest, I'm a little scared. I knew that I would see her again someday, but I had never imagined anything like this." "What did she want?" "Reconciliation. Tom ran away and she claims I'm her son's father." "Oh no, James, could this be true?" "Quite. When it became clear that she would not give up on Tom, I quickly filed for divorce. We had some money and I gave her everything she wanted to get her to sign it. Is possible that she was pregnant without knowing it." "What are you going to do if this is true?" I took the tray and bag from Sally and placed them on the kitchen island. I unbuttoned her puffy jacket and hung it in the hallway closet, then hugged her. I kissed Sally, caressing her soft lips with mine. "What we are going to do is what we always do, my love. Do the right thing. You taught me this. If I'm this boy's father, then Maddie and I will find the best way to support him, but this will be within the framework of our marriage. Hours with you. I'll never go back to her." She smiled and disappeared into me. Sally was my rock after Maddie's betrayal. At first I was hopeless, prickly, suspicious, lashing out at the slightest provocation, real or imagined. Sally accepted my wounds and showed me daily that I could trust her with all my thoughts and feelings. She showed me that I was worthy, that I could truly be loved. Drawing on Sally's kindness, her patience, and her determined love in the face of my most destructive impulses, together we forged a passionate, lasting partnership. "I love this woman so much. Besides," I said, running my hands over the baby bump that had been visible for a couple of weeks, "we have something of our own that will soon require our full attention." Sally gave me another one of her loving smiles. "By the way, your child and I are very hungry. Where did you put the buns and tea?" We laughed and held hands together and headed to the kitchen. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chef doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one.